What is going on, guys? Fitcho here, and about 2 weeks ago I announced my brand new league, Aussie Sim Racing, or ASR for short, and on the weekend, Season 1 finally kicked off with the opening round in Australia. Now, I know this video is a little late coming out considering the race was on Sunday, but I've sort of been in two minds whether I should upload this or not, because if you see my previous video, my news report on the first round, I was not too impressed with what happened. Things did not go well for me, but I thought I should upload this nonetheless to show you guys how the race went, and I want to talk to you guys a little bit about the league, because there's one spot left for one of you to join if you are interested. The races are on Sunday night at 8 PM Australian Eastern Standard Time, or Australian Eastern Daylight Savings Time, whenever that kicks in. So it's pretty much 8 PM Melbourne, Sydney time, and it's on the Xbox One, of course, F1 2016. So there's one seat left at Sauber. If you are interested, make sure you message me getting quick, because we really want to fill that seat up, because if we do, we'll have a full grid of 22 people. Now, the first race in Australia, we got 15 people to turn up. We knew 2 or 3 were going to be absent, but there was still 2 or 3 no-shows, which was a little bit disappointing, but we still got 15, which was a pretty good showing, to be honest, for our first ever race, and the qualifying session was nice and dry. And then, halfway through the session, I noticed the race was going to be full wet conditions. I think most people noticed, because everyone suddenly came out with a fair bit of fuel and was just smashing in laps. And my first ever league race, first ever competitive qualifying session, and the pressure got to me. I was making mistakes on every single lap, but thankfully I was able to still get the car up into P5. Meanwhile, my teammate Jenson, who, if you watch my co-op series in 2015, or one of my Forza Horizon 3 videos, which are coming out very shortly, he's my teammate in the McLaren. He actually managed to snag pole, which was very impressive for him. But the race, the heavens opened, and it's going to be a full wet race for our first ever league race. Things were never going to go well from when we saw that. You can just see how wet it's going to be for the race. It's full wet conditions, and we're even struggling on the formation lap as Formula Fish brake checks me, and then he swerves into me, putting me into the wall, and that's my formation lap done. We're both sent to the grid, so even drama before the race even starts. But anyway, it's time for Aussie Sim Racing Season 1 to get underway. We've got 5 red lights in torrential conditions in Melbourne, and it's lights out, and away we go, trying to control that wheel spin to the best of our ability, and we get a better start than the Renault to our right, up into 4th place immediately, coming down to turn number 1, and everyone is struggling with the conditions. See, Vixer, all-round cricketer, and Jenson all skating off the track as Jenson then loses the back end coming out of turn number 2 and putting himself in the wall, and this promotes me up to 3rd place as we're heading down to turn 3, and this time I make a little mistake with the braking and make a bit of contact with Formula Fish's rear, but thankfully it was sidewall to sidewall of the tyre, so we didn't really damage any parts or anything, and the virtual safety car comes out after only 4 corners, and you can see I have to back off for my Delta. We had Vixer and the Red Bull actually ghosting into me at the when that came out, so that was very, very odd. But the virtual safety car was really a godsend, to be honest. A chance to feel where the grip was to some extent and just calm the race down after a bit of a hectic start where everyone was just all over the place. And it also allowed me to catch up to these guys a little bit because the Delta was all a bit over the place. But by the time we went green flag racing again, I was fairly close to them, but did actually catch me at a bad stage because the green flag actually fell right in the middle of turns 11 and 12 for me. So now at the end of lap 1, we've finally got 1 lap down. As you can see, the leader, all-round cricketer, has a mare coming out of the final corner, and even at the start-finish line, he hasn't got his traction sorted out. That moves us up into 2nd place, but it's not going to last long as Vixer goes down our inside, and we try and give him space because I didn't want to hold it around his outside, and all-round cricketer actually gives us a bit of a punt up the rear, but thankfully it didn't affect us too much. I'm not sure if he got any damage, but now we're right on the back of Vixer. We look to the outside coming down to turn 3, but I think we're both a little late under the brakes, or it's just great defending from Vixer, and he runs a little bit wide, really blocking my path there and not allowing me to get past, and then I accidentally get myself out on the exit curbs, out of turn 4, and that really hinders my progress. You can see Vixer just gets away there a bit, but as you can see in the top left, someone has actually lagged into the lead. And then a few corners later, I get a massive lag spike in the braking zone, and bang, into the back of Vixer, nothing I could do, front left off. Race done after a lap and a half. My first ever league race, and it's over after a lap and a half due to a lag spike in the middle of a braking zone in some serious tricky conditions when I was in a podium position. Rather frustrating, to be honest, and then I rage quit from the lobby. I threw my gloves across the room and went and punched my pillow for a little while. So Vixer has won the first ever Aussie Sim Racing race, or the first competitive one, the opening round of the season, in some very tricky conditions. Jordan Gibbs finished a close second, only 2 seconds off the lead, and rounding out the podium was my teammate Jenson, 13 seconds off the lead. 4th place was X Harley, 21. Then in 5th place, it's actually Pomselwin, 87, as he applied to get his penalty removed, and the steward agreed that the penalty was unfair. He got it for he cut the corner because the AI were going so slow on the racing line. He just didn't have a choice, and he got a penalty for it because someone lagged out. And you know, the online AI, when someone lags out, you have 5 minutes to rejoin, and the AI take over. That AI is seriously slow, and that caused Alex to get a penalty. So the stewards agreed that that penalty shouldn't be applied, so they've swapped 5th and 6th over, so that moved Formula Fish, or Luke, down to 6th place, and he was a shoo-in for the win apparently, until he got screwed over by a penalty under the safety cars and another penalty for speeding in the pit lane when trying to serve that original penalty. He said he should have recorded it. If he recorded it, he reckoned he could have got those penalties removed, but unfortunately for him, he forgot to record the game clip, so we had nothing to go to the stewards with to show them to see if he could get the penalty removed, so he didn't get any penalties removed there, although it's not showing on the results. It was a drive-through penalty in the race. So if you are part of the league, if you ever get a penalty or something happens you think is unfair, or the way the game stewards it, make sure you record the game clip so you actually have something to talk to the stewards with. That's an important thing. And then the last of the finishes was actually in 7th place, was decided soggy. So really not that many people finishing the race in those very tricky conditions. You can see a lot of people DNF'd there. So if we have a look at the championship standings, obviously the driver standings will be exactly the same as the race results, and obviously we are not awarding points for DNFs, even though there were a fair few people finishing in the points that did not finish the race. But in the Constructors' Championship, Red Bull are now in the lead after Vixer's win. His teammate unfortunately didn't make the race, but still his victory has taken Red Bull to the front of the Constructors' title. The Constructors' Championship. In 2nd place is Renault, who got 5th and 6th, so they're one of the only teams to actually have both cars finish the race, and that's put them in good stead. They're on equal points with Mercedes, who are also on 18 points, as they had their driver finish 2nd, the only one that I think finished the race for them. Then in 4th place is McLaren on 15 points, that's Manor on 12, and Toro Rosso in 6th place on 6 points, then Ferrari, Williams, Force India, Sauber, and Haas have not scored any points yet. So that is all for today, guys. The next round of the championship is in Bahrain this Sunday at 8 PM Melbourne or Sydney time. Just a quick reminder, there is still 1 seat available on the grid in the Sauber, so message me quick if you want that to be you, and we can see you on the grid in Bahrain. And if we get that seat filled, we'll have a full grid, a grid of 22 people, and for a startup league, that's kind of crazy to be honest to think about it. Also, if you want to race 1 or 2 times, we have some reserve spots available, because we know due to, life getting in the way, people aren't always going to be able to make it. So, for example, this weekend, the Mercedes of Jordan Gibbs is going to be unable to attend the race. So we've already got a replacement for him, Typhoon Killer, who's just going to step in for this one race, and he's going to help Mercedes with the Constructors' Championship. So if you want to do something like that, just fill in every now and then, but you don't really want the full-on commitment of doing the entire championship. You just want to sort of fill in for people here and there when people aren't able to make it. You can also do that, so message me if you're interested in that. But that is all for today, guys. I hope you guys have enjoyed this shorter video. As you can see, the race didn't go that well for me. I'm hoping to bounce back strong in Bahrain. It's one of my favorite tracks, and I've already done a little bit of practice there. Being a sweaty little bastard there, I've already done a 50% race, which was for a career mode, which should actually be coming out this Sunday, a brand new career mode, but don't worry, the VANDOORNE career isn't going anywhere. I'm starting a new career mode, so look out for that on Sunday night at the normal upload time. But that's all for today. I hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, make sure to smash that like button. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe. Thanks for watching. I'll see you all next time.